Throughout 2017, we're going to highlight extraordinary students in our area. Today, we are joined by an incredible young woman, Dominique LaSalvia, and her assistant principal, Rachel Streeb. Dominique is a senior at LaSalvia High, ranked #1 in her class, the student liaison for District 186, plus works 30 hours a week to support herself. She has overcome such difficult circumstances, and it's an honor to have her here today. Wow, that's a lot, Dominique. It's so nice to have you and Rachel here today. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for having us.
It must just be amazing to have such an incredible young girl at your school, Rachel.
Yeah, she makes me very proud. She's overcome a lot of adversity and still maintaining that #1 ranking through everything that she's done. Just really, really proud of her.
Absolutely. I know you're a student liaison at your school, the student liaison from LaSalvia. Tell me why this is important to you.
I think it's important because I haven't ever really been the normal high schooler. I'm kind of like the student but the adult at the same time, so I kind of think I'm the connection between the students and the adults and trying to kind of get the student opinion and mindset, but also kind of convert it into an adult form, I guess you could say.
That's fabulous. You said you just said you haven't been the normal high schooler.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. You've overcome some circumstances that the normal high schooler has not had to endure.
Mm-hmm.
Let's face that, right? And a little bit of background. You've lived in a youth homeless shelter for 6 months out of your life. Tell me about that. What was it like when you first walked into the door and knew that you had to be there?
Well, it wasn't really the ideal place for me to be, so obviously there was a little bit of sadness. But also I remember the first day being there. I was actually going through some pictures the other day, and I found a picture that I took the first night there. And I had made the bed with my blankets because I got to bring my own stuff. I made the bed and I took a picture of it, and I remember the caption said, when you get to have your own bed to sleep in. So that was my biggest thing. Rather than switching from place to place, I had just my bed that I knew I could leave my stuff in this room, and I was pretty grateful, pretty happy about that.
How did the days progress? Did you get more comfortable there as the days went on?
Yeah, I got more comfortable there. When I first got there, I didn't really come out of the room when I was there. I was barely there, but I didn't really interact with the other people because I was kind of iffy about it. But after being there for a while, I kind of got out and communicated with the workers and the other kids more. And I didn't eat with the rest of them at dinner time because I didn't feel like part of it, but after a while I started to get more into it and more accepting of it.
How did you gain strength to endure such such circumstances? I mean, you're #1 in your class. I mean, let's face it, Rachel, to be #1 in your class in the best of circumstances,
it's a difficult thing.
It's a difficult thing, and to be in Dominique's situation,
on top of working a schedule that most adults carry, alone, let alone going to school all that time, is it's phenomenal. What she's done is just phenomenal.
It's just absolutely phenomenal. And where did your strength come from, Dominique?
I would probably have to say that my strength came from especially 2 people, my grandma and my brother. They were pretty much my whole motivation this whole time and still are.
What did your grandmother give you?
My grandmother has always just been that one person that's been there. She hasn't been able to give me much, and so she's beaten herself up about that, but the emotional support, she's always been there telling me that I can do it, has never let me give up, has given me everything that I've needed, even if it was her giving me the shirt off of her back. I just knew that she was always that person I could go to if I needed a shoulder to cry on or needed some advice. She was definitely one of my biggest motivators. And then sophomore year, my little brother was born, and I knew that I wanted to be his biggest role model, so he's also been a big inspiration for me to keep going.
That's just fabulous. You work a 30-hour week. You came in today to do this show, and you had already been to work at 6 a.m.
Yes.
And you're going to school. You're missing an AP biology class right now. Now, for those you watching that aren't in high school, the AP classes are the most difficult classes to take, and obviously she's been to work. You probably had to get up, no telling what time, and you're taking these hard classes. It would be perfectly understandable, Rachel, for someone going through what she has gone through to say the heck with it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Just the heck with it. For some young person watching, Dominique, that may be facing challenges similar to yours, what could you say to them? What kind of advice can you give them? Because you're obviously so inspirational to us and to our community, but maybe a one teenager that's out there, what can you say?
I'd probably say that no matter how strong you think you are or how good you think you're doing, someone to help you is always a good idea, because I spent so much time trying to do it on my own, and that just put a lot more stress on me. And as soon as I realized that there were people for me to trust and places I could go to get help, that took a lot of stress off of me. So I'd probably say ask for help and don't be scared to ask for it.
That's great. At Lanphier, I know, Rachel, you're so proud of her. Tell me what your community there, what kind of support that you've given.
Students in our district have just a plethora of support available to them. There's a whole network out there. We have dedicated staff that are here to support our students with struggles like Dominique. If anyone is wanting to assist our homeless students, they can make donations to Springfield Public School Foundations or contact the Matthew Project, who is our partner. They provide mentoring to our elementary students who are experiencing homelessness, so we can provide them with the supports that they need. But we have many, many things in place for students like Dominique, to assist with what they're going through.
Are there many other students that you're aware of who are homeless?
There are. And we have parent educators built within our schools that have that direct access to Darla Haley, who is our homeless liaison for the district. And those parent educators just are in touch with all the resources and in tap, with all the community-based services out there for our students that need those supports, which actually our parent educator, Tracy Deal, is someone that I hooked Dominique up with when this was all beginning to happen, and she, was significant in helping Dominique get into, YSB and the supports that she needed. So yeah, there are, and it's hard, to see, because you just think, students going to school just come, they come to school and the biggest thing that they face is doing their homework in the evening, but it's not. And to watch someone that has dealt with the things that Dominique has dealt with and, not only complete her homework and come to school, but excel beyond anyone's, wildest dreams, going to attend U of I next year, just makes me remember why I became an educator to begin with. She makes me really proud.
Absolutely. You're going to U of I.
Yes, I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is just so exciting. Let's talk about that. Tell me what you're studying.
I'm going to be studying actuarial science.
Okay. We talked about this, Rachel. For those of you at home that have Google, look it up. Give a little brief description.
It's like a math person, I guess you could say, for people that don't have better terms. They work for insurance companies, and they kind of use like statistics and psychology to come up with the rates for people's insurance. So it's kind of just the big number person in it all.
Fabulous, fabulous. Where do you see yourself after you graduate?
After I graduate, hopefully be able to find a job pretty soon after, or while I'm still in college, so I can get started on my career, because I do want to kind of start my life as soon as I get out of college. I want to get myself a house, and I want to have the family, and I want to help other people, especially in situations like I'm in. I want to start helping people as soon as I can.
I can absolutely see that. I think the thing that we talked about before being on the air that I was just so impressed with about Dominique is you just have to admire how she doesn't want the attention on her. This isn't about her. She's just really taken by our kind community who has backed her. But that is definitely not what she was wanting at all.
Absolutely not. I will never forget when she walked in after doing her second radio show with Sam last week, and people had dropped off gift cards while they were also making donations, and she was shaking with couldn't believe that people were giving to her the way that they were, and reading the note. She reads every note and talks about so it's not just about what she's getting, it's about the message that she's putting out there and the gifts that she's getting back through people's messages. She just mentioned that she liked going to Texas Roadhouse to take her grandma to dinner there, and someone just that day when they were there for 2 hours dropped off a gift card to Texas Roadhouse and said, "Take your grandma to dinner on me." And it's just just amazing. And I tell her, when you work hard like this and you're a good person, and everything you give out comes back to you tenfold, and she is definitely a giver.
Absolutely. And such a good person.
Absolutely.
It's just I'm so proud to know you. Let's talk about, I know you don't have much free time, but when you have a few minutes, what's your favorite thing to do?
My favorite thing to do in my free time is especially to pick up my little brother, and since I didn't really get to be a kid, with him I get to be a kid again. So let's say I take him to McDonald's play place. I don't just let him run around, I'll run around with him. So he kind of lets me have fun with him. So that's most fun for me.
That is.
With my little brother.
And how old is he?
He's 3.
Oh my gosh. What a terrific role model he has in you. That is so fun. As I said earlier, the Springfield area and this community is such a special community, as you know, Rachel, and as Dominique is finding out for sure. And I'd like you to speak on the trust fund that was formed for Dominique.
Sure. We've set up a donor-funded account at U.S. Bank. Mike O'Brien from Country Financial is the one who contacted me and wanted to initially reach out to Dominique. He is a community member of Springfield, has resided here, has children here, and in the schools. He reached out about her. We have set up an account called the Dominique LaSalvia Donation Fund at U.S. Bank, and if anyone would like to donate to Dominique, checks can be made payable directly to that fund at any U.S. Bank. And while she's the beneficiary, she has no direct access, to the fund. She comes to. There's 3 of us on the account: Mike O'Brien, myself, and Becky Hendricks. And she comes to us and lets us know, what she needs. And this fund is set up for her, whether it's her daily living expenses like rent. We got her car insurance, out of there that she really needed. Household items, just things that she needs. And then again, on to college and beyond with whatever she needs. The people have just been so generous in giving to her and wanting to help her. A local attorney also donated his time and expenses to get kind of establish the account and draft and formalize the management plan for the donation fund. So that is there, and we just want to help provide her with anything that she needs, because no 18-year-old should have to work 30 hours a week and pay almost $700 a month in rent and all of her bills and everything that she does. We want to help take some of that stress off of her and let her focus on her final time as a senior and moving on to college.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much, Dominique.
Thank you.
You're amazing. What a way to start off the extraordinary young people in our community segment. I couldn't think of anybody more deserving than you. Really appreciate it, and I can't wait to watch and hear about where you go from here.
Thank you.
So excited. Thank you so much, Rachel.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be back.